Table, so where he's more straight on you.
That's fine.
Because you're really going to get sort of a
okay.
side.
Made the bank. N-A-I-D-A, capital B-A-L-E. Made the bank.
Rise.
Please be seated. Here we state Mr. King, representative of the council, Mr. Turner, of course. Council, take this for him to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understand the whole. Please continue, sir.
We're not going to take a side to it for a second, okay?
I was pulled over for speeding, and
Where was that?
where was I pulled over at?
Yeah, do you remember what part of town?
On my way home, on the east side of town. I was pulled over for speeding, and I wouldn't give the police officer my telephone number because, do you want me to tell the whole story?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Well, experience, but it wasn't a terrible experience because
Okay,
it just seemed so trivial.
Okay.
So I just forgot about it.
Okay. Then, did there come a time when, after I began representing you in this case, that I represented you on the resisting arrest charge as well?
Yes.
And did we go to court?
Yes, we did.
And did we have a trial?
Yes.
Okay, what do you remember next, Corinne?
I remember waking up in a helicopter. Well, being in a helicopter, I remember them telling me I was in a helicopter and that I had been in an accident and that they were taking me to the hospital.
Okay. When you crawled out of your car, or when you were in the helicopter, what did you think? What did you think had happened?
I wasn't sure. I just thought that I had gotten in when they told me I was in an accident, I thought I was in a car accident.
Did you think you could hit another car hit you?
Right?
Okay. Did you know at that time that there were
No.
other people?
No. No.
Okay. Do you remember ever being in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember police officers? Do you remember any people coming and saying things to you?
There was a lot of people talking to me.
Okay.
I don't remember everything. I just remember a lot of people.
Do you remember seeing any friends or family at the hospital before you talked to these people?
No.
Okay. You've been here through this trial. You've heard different police officers and detectives testify.
Yes.
And they testified to a number of things.
I'm sure that they were there. I know they were there. They must have been there. I don't remember them.
Okay. Did there come a time, Corinne, then, that someone told you that you were going to jail?
Yes.
And did there come a time that someone told you what had happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
that you were intoxicated or drunk or in no condition to drive a vehicle?
It's obvious that I wasn't able to drive, but I didn't think that I wasn't. I didn't know I was that tired. I didn't know I was that tired, and I wouldn't have drove if I knew that I wasn't okay to drive.
Okay. You wouldn't have driven if you had thought that you weren't okay?
No.
Okay. I have no additional questions.
Mr. Mitchell?
Ms. King,
Yes.
as your lawyer was questioning you, he asked you about the last time you had gotten drunk prior to the accident.
Yes.
Was that the only time?
Yes.
So, to your knowledge, you've been drunk just once in your life?
In my life?
Yes.
No. When I was a teenager, I got drunk when I was a teenager before. He said adult life.
How many times feel sick or
I feel lightheaded. When I feel like I don't feel like I would normally. I like to feel normal. I don't like to feel abnormal.
okay. You mentioned that on March 2nd, your birthday, you did drink. Where was that?
At Cosmos, I had a few glasses of wine with dinner.
That you were going to have to be babysitting their little boy.
I don't, it all depended. All day, probably.
Okay, so you knew that if you didn't go home and get some sleep, that you would really be tired by the time you got there to babysit the boy.
I didn't think about I don't know.
When your lawyer was questioning you about the drive from Tramps to Empty, but the next recollection you have is that you're crawling out of your car. Do you remember unbuttoning the seatbelt and being upside down? Just the crawling? Okay. And then, after the crawling, evidently there's a part you don't remember again.
I just remember a lot of people being around.
So you remember crawling out and you remember people being around and saying things which you've already testified about. And then I believe it was your testimony that the next thing you remember was waking up in a helicopter.
They told me I was in a helicopter.
Okay, so you didn't wake up in a helicopter.
I did. I don't know if I was ever. I was in a helicopter because they told me I was in a helicopter. They told me that I'd been in an accident and that I was going to the hospital.
Okay. But you don't have any independent recollection of the helicopter?
No.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that you remember certain parts of the incident, but other parts?
Everything's fuzzy, like kind of, everything's all kind of mixed up.
Okay. The one time when you know that you were drunk, you said
Been on that road countless times before.
Yes.
Why would you be on that road?
because it was the back road to Jack and Ginger's, and my house was on the opposite side of Jimmy Durante, so kind of a shortcut.
And about how far from Coral Gables Apartments was it to Jack and Ginger's house?
It was only 2 blocks.
So you were real close to home.
It was just around the corner.
Why don't you go?
I made a mess over here.
I think I'll